Katt Williams would share a clip on his Instagram story, which featured Diddy in an old clip on Nickelodeon show All That. In the sketch,
Yet again, Feline Successes would share a clasp on his Instagram story, which included Diddy in an old clasp on Nickelodeon show. All that in the sketch, two little youngsters are attempting to awaken one of their companions who's snoozing. The children go to Diddy for guidance on the best way to awaken their companion. Take this toy helicopter, put it down his jeans. Okay, we do it. We'll really do. Come on, in light of the fact that on the grounds that in 30 years I've done only get their data information and your mysteries. There's one more upsetting advancement in the Diddy adventure, and Feline Williams is at the bleeding edge of this fight against detestable in media outlets. This time, Feline is focusing the light on an exceptionally unpleasant association among Diddy and Nickelodeon maker Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider has been under a microscope for a really long time over charges of unseemly lead towards youthful stars. Anyway, these claims are currently at last standing out. They merit thanks to a stunning new narrative column on it that offers an upsetting behind-the-scene investigative portion of Nickelodeon's most well-known shows. These are three hunters who worked at Nickelodeon all in a short measure of time. Away, folks, when prepared for you. It was a harmful climate. It made me trust individuals less. We were there for such countless hours. You become familiar with individuals until you're not. I had no clue about the thing I was saving my child from, and right when we figured it couldn't deteriorate, an old clasp highlighting Diddy's visitor appearance on an episode of Nickelodeon's show, All That re-emerged via web-based entertainment, where Diddy is seen showcasing an odd scene with youthful stars, and supposedly Schneider by and by requested that Diddy show up in this episode. It seems to be every one of the bits of the riddle are meeting up now, and 2024 will be the extended time of openness, very much like Feline Williams anticipated. These enormous dick degen. Irate is all getting damnation in 2024. It's up for every one of them. It don't make any difference assuming you Diddy or whoever you is TG John. The each all falsehoods will be uncovered now on the off chance that you return and pay attention to Feline's meeting on Club Shay again. Considering this large number of new charges about Diddy and Dan Schneider, you'll understand that Feline was correct when he discussed how media outlets and its facilitators are one wicked gathering. This dark hole is more profound and hazier than anybody might have envisioned, and when you begin stripping back the layers, it resembles uncovering a completely separate universe of the most debased criminal stuff. And those paranoid notions that certain individuals blamed Feline for spreading great, turns out they have a ton of truth to them, so we should dive into the subtleties he's actually found sleeping. What are we going to do? I don't realize you realize in circumstances like this. Definitely, I generally ask myself, what might P. Diddy in all actuality do? How about we first discussion about Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. So back in 2018, Dan Schneider left Nickelodeon following claims of wrongdoing against a few youthful stars. From that point forward, he's been disappearing, presumably trusting everybody would simply disregard why he left so unexpectedly. Anyway, there's this new narrative considered calm on set that is totally exposing all that. It's not bringing back the contention around Schneider's way of behaving, having yet additionally focusing a light on Nickelodeon's part in changing over up those serious claims. Dan Schneider began his vocation in Hollywood during the 80s, making appearances in films and network programs prior to handling a gig as a maker at Nickelodeon in 1993. Dennis Science Physical Science. He can tackle any issue that you can concoct. Schneider's introduction project for Nickelodeon was the sketch parody series All That, which featured a major group of youthful entertainers, among them Amanda Bynes and Jamie Lee Lances. Yet this is where things view and in a serious way dreadful turns. So Schneider and his companion maker, Brian Look, both chipped away at everything that, except get this, in 2004 Look was captured and wound up serving a 16-month stretch in jail for something truly mess up affecting a youngster. The character of Feces Casualty was disguised in the court records, and at first a few sources estimated that it very well may be Leonardo DiCaprio, who worked with Look on the 90s sitcom Developing Torments. Brian is the renowned craftsman, and we generally ridicule one another and depict each other in senseless, humorous ways. Anyway, in the new narrative column on set, Nickelodeon star Drake Chime, who worked with Brian Look on The Amanda Show, was uncovered to be his casualty. Look At first had to deal with an astounding 11 penalties, everyone more nauseating than the last class yet in all honesty. After he did his time Look just danced right once more into Hollywood and continued to function as an entertainer and exchange mentor. As a matter of fact, Look even proceeded to chip away at Disney stations the sweet existence of Zack and Cody. Now you realize that familiar axiom, you are the organization you hold very much. How about we return again to Look's companion Dan Schneider? As per this viral Reddit string, when Schneider and Look were at Nickelodeon, they ran this camp for youthful entertainers called Two Satire Training Camp, and Guardians were totally untouchable and afterward. There's likewise this LA Times article from 2002 that demonstrates the Schneider-Pate Association. The article portrays the in-the-background life of all that stars, and it expresses that the youthful cast individuals needed to go to a Two Satire Training Camp that Schneider held with the assistance of a group that incorporated the show's discourse mentor, Brian Look. Yet it gets significantly more upsetting from here. In the wake of dealing with all that for 4 seasons, Schneider passed on to do The Amanda Show featuring Amanda Ties. The Amanda Show ran from October 1999 to September 2002, so you can figure it out on how old Amanda was at that point. And this show is one of numerous Schneider create that includes some genuinely frightening music scenes, and it wasn't The Amanda Show. Essentially every Nickelodeon project made by Dan Schneider was the same way, blasting at the creases with ridiculously unseemly jokes. Yet there's an entirely separate layer to this wreck. There are likewise lots of disrupting claims about Schneider's improper way of behaving towards Amanda on set. And assuming that you've gotten any of the in-the-background cuts from The Amanda Show, you'll know precisely exact thing we're discussing. Greetings, welcome to my jacuzzi today. My extraordinary visitor is the chief maker of the AM show, Dan Schneider. Hey, now you're the chief maker of the show. Well, yes, I'm the leader maker and the head writer. You truly composed the words we're telling each other right now.
Oh, duh.
A nightly yes. I composed this entire discussion that we're having right now. A leader maker, give me an I. Could we at any point have an I see before? Since you're the leader maker, I now 2 years after The Amanda Show was dropped, Schneider folds once again into Nickelodeon with another gig called Drake and Josh, featuring Drake Ringer and Josh Look from The Amanda Show, in addition to Miranda Cosgrove, and Schneider fundamentally hits reorder on his unpleasant recipe, trading out the characters Drake and Josh was loaded with every one of those equivalent unusual draws and adult jokes we found in The Amanda Show. So my new step-sibling situ with Drake is resolving great. Residing with Josh isn't all that terrible yet. He must stop licking my T-nails on his bed, and afterward, there was Carly featuring Miranda Cosgrove and Jeanette McCarty, and this show was the same as other Schneider manifestations, and outdo iCarly wasn't loaded with strange scenes and crude jokes, yet clearly Schneider's unseemly way of behaving didn't stop. There's this famous film drifting around that shows Miranda Cosgrove looking truly awkward during her birthday celebration on set, and watch out for the second when Miranda attempts to move in an opposite direction from Schneider, yet he pulls her back and afterward embraces her from behind. I reached the resolution that what you can say, mightn't you at any point say, I mean legitimate to God, don't even get me started? Pretty much every one of the brilliant characteristics about Miranda, I realized time grants, and I will unite it to this one thing. In every one of the years I've realized Miranda, I surmise 9 years presently, is additionally upsetting that, as per Janet McCarty, Nickelodeon was completely mindful of Schneider's way of behaving, as well as they effectively attempted to cover it up, and quiet entertainers who brought the caution up. In her 2022 journal, Jeanette depicts iCarly as a very harmful workplace, guaranteeing that somebody she alludes to, just as the designer abused her, gave her cocktails, and gave her back rubs. As per to Jeanette, the designer was in the end restricted from cooperating straightforwardly with the cast after a few of them gripped about his